So Elle started here May 2020. She hired me September 2020. Then Alex in December. Then we had a long spell where we just kind of managed, and then we have Katie in June, July. Then Matt started in September and Catriona in October. So we had like a period where it was just me and Elle, and then a long time it was just me, Elle and Alex. And then quite quickly we've got quite a few people more, so.
The first thing is to get a cup of tea. That's like, just gotta get the cup of tea.
We have our weekly catch-ups at, I think it's 9:15 on a Monday.
Us and the SEO team, just say, here's what we're working on.
We go through, here's what's happening this week, like, are there briefs that we need? So we're all kind of very much aware of what it is we've got coming through from there.
I'll make sure Matt and Catriona have everything they need for the week ahead. They have all the keywords and stuff that they need if they need to be writing something new.
We use Asana to track all the stuff we gotta do. So looking at that and going, oh yes, I have this enormous thing I need to do today.
Work out how long everything's going to take. It's kind of, you've got an idea of how long you should be spending on certain tasks.
And I'll divide out enough to have between 6 and 8 hours of work.
Work out how long it's going to take me to do a certain thing, when it's due by, that's like the key factor. Work out what's due when, and then work out what I can fit in the morning, what I can fit in the afternoon.
We're good at managing heavy workloads between us as much as possible so that no one's absolutely like dying and drowning as much as possible.
And that's always a good opportunity if someone's maybe struggling with their workload. Some of us can say, we've got a lighter week, we'll take some stuff on for you. My workload isn't as like structured and in plans, obviously, with the likes of like Katie and Catriona and Matt who have copywriting. It's very clear what they have to do on a day-to-day basis, whereas I guess for me it's a lot of last-minute things that jump through.
I'll get the more complicated, complex deadlines out of the way early, just because obviously they're the ones I'm most likely to come up with questions about or come into trouble with. I leave the probably a bit more straightforward deadlines to the end of the week. Obviously makes for a more pleasant Thursday, Friday.
Generally speaking, we try and keep people with the things that they're good at. Like if you prefer SEO blogs to PR blogs, we'll try and make that happen as much as possible. It depends on what we've got at the moment. Like we've got a big content project. We just had a big furniture-based one. And that just had to get done by whoever was available to do it, essentially.
I do find myself in more calls and meetings now than I suppose I ever was before. But I guess I kind of get to the point where if there's a lot of stuff that comes through, I can lean on other people and like delegate work to them. Matt and I talk a lot about this because we're the newest members of the team. He's very much likes to do his research, likes to look up all the possible questions he could have come up with about a piece and puts it all in a document and organises it and bullet points it. And I'm just like, here we go. Just like start writing. We try and hire ahead, like when we know something. If we've got a few new clients coming up, we try and hire ahead, but ultimately we kind of have to wait until that workload comes through. So it's like that bit in between when you've got the ad out, you're interviewing, and you know that someone's starting, but you've still got to wait a month. That for me is kind of the hardest bit in managing the workload within the current team.
Perhaps one of the biggest challenges when it comes to handling deadlines is just getting it all done on time.
I've written a lot of buying guides on office furniture, and there is only so much I can say about chairs to make them interesting.
The sheer amount, the volume of work that we have to do has been a lot. We do like something daft, like we write 20,000 words each a week.
Not a huge fan of like really short, concise copy, like the kind of stuff you'll get as like a product description, that kind of thing, because I find I struggle with those. Like if you have to write a lot in one day, they all become the same, but you've got to stop them being the same.
Having to balance the existing workload with new stuff like straight managing clients and sort of working through relationships, doing all the roadmaps, just picking all that stuff up, and then managing Matt and Catriona at the same time, and you know, having to work out all the time to proof all their work and sort of check over it, because you know they're both brilliant, but you know everyone's got to get checked.
I really enjoy writing for Thoughtful. Their tone of voice is really playful, really fun. Their content is really engaging. A lot of it is to do with relating to people's emotions, because when you're trying to sell greetings cards, you're trying to tap into people's emotions and why they would want to then tell other people their emotions through a card. So I quite enjoy playing with that aspect of it.
Well, I do all of the sports PR work, which is probably what I'm most interested in outside of work. or the sporting side of it. So that's probably the most enjoyable in terms of what I'm actually writing.
I think the sheer variety of what I've got to write about has been really good. There's been a couple of really interesting PR pieces I've got to do for a tech brand, they were interesting is the right way to put it, I think. One of them had to do with like recipes, and the other was like the ultimate gaming character, which was, I don't know if I agreed with everything they come up with, but it was fun to write about nevertheless.
I get on with everyone. Like, I think because this is the first time I've ever managed anyone and I had the opportunity to build the team myself, I wanted to hire people that I knew I was going to get on with, actually be friends with, but I wanted everyone else to kind of feel like they were part of, like, it sounds so cheesy, like this group of friends.
We have some really good clients, we have so much talent on the team. You know, we work so hard, you know, the whole team is just giving it all the time. Elle has done a fantastic job building a team that really has just a nice culture kind of baked into it. You know, she's hired very carefully, and the people we have on the team are really, really genuinely so hardworking and so lovely to be around, and so just positive and welcoming of each other, and it's the nicest, it's the best team.